Good morning, everyone. Today's presentation is going to be Identity Theft and Protection, hosted by Karina Hernandez from M&T Bank. So the floor is yours, Karina. If anyone has questions, again, type it in the chat and we'll address them at the moment or at the end of the presentation. Thank you.
Hi, good morning. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, good. Hi, so yes, my name is Karina Hernandez. I am a loan officer with M&T Bank, and identity theft is one of the first, I guess, line of preventions that you can or you should look out for when you're looking to acquire debt or to make a big purchase. So why is identity theft a big issue in this country? Well, sometimes we're not very careful with our credentials, and most people don't understand what really identity is. It's not just your name and a number assigned to you, such as a social security number. It's sort of credit worthiness. You know, it says a lot about you, how you pay things on time, and people don't really think of how hurtful it could be when you're not careful with who you are. And that includes social media. It includes your schooling, such as your social security number, your transcripts. It includes your address, your phone number. It includes your family makeup, where you live. It includes everything about you. So regarding identity, how does this happen? You know, what happens when your identity is taken or is assumed by somebody else? So it could be many different types. It could be medical. So in many reasons why your identity may be taken, for example. I'm going to try to share, I don't know if I can, just briefly here. Can you see my screen? No?
No, but you do
Okay.
have access.
Okay. Okay, let's try this. Okay, can we see that? Is that big enough?
Yes, we can see it.
All right. So the reason why I want to focus specifically on the scams that are happening right now during the pandemic is for many reasons. So there is a lot of systems that are lax. So the country has to switch very quickly in a short amount of time to work from home, right? So we're sending you a computer. Maybe there are certain security features that should have been in the computer that now they're not, because we know your employer has to give you some type of device to work from home. Likewise, the protections are not there to protect part of the work. So major things that are happening during this type of pandemic that we're all going through is unemployment, medical, and for the most part, self-employed people have struggled with what this looks like. So, you know, if you are one of those people that you decide that you want to file taxes a little bit later versus at the deadline, you might be one of those people at risk of identity theft. That is very important. If you are a person that you get things in the mail, like credit card offers or, you know, those Medicaid, you know, or insurance information, don't just toss that out. You should shred it, you should burn it, you should destroy it, you should erase your name out of it, because you could be at risk of identity theft. And funny story, as I'm getting ready for you guys, I just want to share that I was a victim recently of identity theft. So the way it happened for me was there was a website that I accessed through my phone, and that website was compromised. I was in a public Wi-Fi that I felt trusted. There is no public Wi-Fi, people listen to me, that is trustworthy. The only Wi-Fi that is trustworthy is your home, not even your employer, your home, and maybe somebody that you know, a house that has a password, some type of encryption. There is no public, there's no Starbucks, no Dunkin' Donuts, no local campus, anything that says public, it has access for scammers to go in there and hack it. And the browsers that you have access, they can gather information from there. Also email, those of us that have multiple email addresses. If you do not access your email address on a weekly basis, you can be at risk of identity theft. And this is information that some hackers use to file for unemployment, to request duplicate cards from your bank, to even request retirement. They can apply for Social Security. You've got to be careful. So you don't have to be worrisome, but do understand that if you are a victim of identity theft, it could be very difficult to correct those things. If there are items that are opened under your name, if there are utilities that have been switched to your name and therefore not paid, this is dangerous because you could be held liable if you cannot prove that you did not authorize that. And that can be very difficult. There are a lot of systems in place from a lot of companies, insurance companies, your own bank, but you have to be proactive. You have to make sure that you are logging into your account. You have to make sure that you are securing anything that comes through the mail, and that you are also paying things on time. That is huge, because that could be a red flag for a credit card company when all of a sudden your bills are not being paid at the same time that is your pattern. They will reach out to you and they will contact you. So these right here on the screen are some of the most common ones that we have seen throughout this whole pandemic process. The whole, fake websites where it really, PayPal is one of the huge ones where you have to make sure you know what PayPal looks like and that they will not email you to ask information just like your lender. And any of those websites that are cash paying or transfers, they do not email you to ask you to confirm anything. So please know that. Phishing and vision right here. This is just sort of sending you like an on the hook email just to get you interested in what it could be. Or a text. I don't know if those of you that have received those Amazon texts, they want you to click in there and they'll automatically have access. If you have, if you pay with your phone, like Amazon Pay or iPay, you could be at risk of that. So be very, very careful. Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, unemployment, the same thing. They'll tell you, look, you applied, you have an account, and you may click in there to say, let me see what this is all about. And then all of a sudden, a day later, all of that information gets redirected to a completely different email with a different phone number. All they needed was for you to confirm or to access it and say, yeah, this is me, but now you no longer have access. So please be very careful with that. And then we have those fake job postings. I want to talk about that one first, because it is a huge problem. It is a huge problem. No employer will send you a check and tell you, if you cash this, send me this portion, and then, I'll give you a job. Nobody pays you in advance, especially during this time. This is huge. Whether it's a contest, if you did not enter that contest, it is fake. It is not real. Once you click on it and you acknowledge it, you can be liable for that because you voluntarily access that website and confirm that information. So please be very careful what that looks like. If you are unsure, look for a phone number, send an email, encrypt it. That is huge for your bank. If you're trying to assist your bank in what that looks like for you, please do that. There are many websites that will aid you with that. There are many government agencies that you can contact and say, look, I've been a victim of identity theft. If you are reporting a lock on your credit report, if you're reporting it, M&T suggests keep it there for 3 to 5 years. 1 year, it is not enough. 1 year, it is not enough. A lot of these scammers will wait as long as possible to go back and attempt again. So please be very vigilant. This will prevent you from applying for any government aid. It could prevent you from applying for car loan, a personal loan, a mortgage, such as myself. There's a lot that we can explain when it comes to the process of your credit, but if you have left this unresolved, this really can hurt you, okay? Let me share another screen. There are other options that you can look into when it comes to protecting your credit. And I'll give you an example, excuse me. Let me attempt to share another screen here. Okay, so am I sharing it? I'm not sure if I'm sharing it. Is everybody able to see my screen?
We can still see it.
Can you see the M&T logo?
At the bottom, right, and then
let me see. Okay. So these are, and this is just an example. This is just regarding M&T, but every lender has this, okay? So there are certain steps that you should take if you have been a victim of identity theft. The very first thing, if it's anything electronic, you need to change your password. You need to change your password for everything, your security questions. You need to clean your browser. You have to make sure that if you have even a password for your VPN or your Wi-Fi, change it as well. Make sure you change everything. It can be very tedious and a heartache, but you need to do it, okay? And contact your lender, and then contact your 3 major reporting agencies. These agencies do not work for creditors. They do not work for your bank. They really are there for you, okay? And make sure that they know that you have experienced some type of theft related to whether it's your name, your address, your credit, and they will make sure that there is an alert, number 1, and a lock on your credit report, okay? If you have any accounts that might have been open, request for those to be closed and closed due to fraud. That is very, very important. You may be able to file the police report, and now you can do mostly over the phone. And I would suggest for that, if you were planning on making a major purchase, or if you were going to college or are in the process of, higher learning, because this could impact how much aid you can get. And then last but not least, definitely file a report with the FTC, which is the Federal Trade Commission. They oversee all of this information regarding credit and how it's handled and how we will use alternative credit. This is very, very important. And I guess what I could stress with people the most is, if you have a social security number, if you have an address, if you have a full name, if you have ever applied for anything, if there is a number attached to whether it's an insurance number, if you ever had a car loan, any number associated with you, you have an identity that is tied to your credit report. And whether you don't think you have credit or not, or if you think you have bad credit, it can always get worse. So please do yourself a favor. There is a website. It's called annualcreditreport.com. It is a once a year, and it's government sponsored. If you wanted your FICO, that is different, but that will help you figure out kind of where you are and how many inquiries have been done in the past 18 months. Okay. Does anybody have any questions so far?
you guys can type it in the chat as well.
Anybody have any questions?
No questions in regards to identity theft? in Today's
What is
day
the
and
age
age.
group?
I-
What is the age group?
16 years old and up, so typically 18 though.
Okay, yeah, I have a 19-year-old and she really has no interest in really understanding what is identity and that works.
Someone,
Sorry.
go ahead.
I have a question. So what should you do if you got an email like that and you did it like from not realizing you clicked on it? What should you do next?
Yes. So you should absolutely contact, if it's Yahoo, you should contact Yahoo. If it's Hotmail, if it's Gmail, you should contact them. You should block that email. And if you did get further, and if you did provide information, you should still contact your lender, your bank, and you should still take these precautions. It doesn't hurt at all. It does not hurt for you to take these precautions. It may be a little bit of work, but it will actually train you for forever when you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, to make sure that you're paying attention to what this looks like, because it could come back. It could come back. The only reason why I know where my information was compromised because I did a little digging and I am into lending. You know, my life is credit, budgeting. It is my business to know for my clients and for myself, how does that operate? So I really didn't have a choice.
Mhm.
Someone-
I had a problem that I would get emails on my emails that someone was trying to log into my account from like a different country, but they have failed.
Yes, it sounds like you have been accessing your email. I'm sorry.
It's what they said, that someone was trying to access my account from a different country, and they was asking if it was me, and I was like, no, it's not me. Should I
Did you change your
like,
password?
change my password or something after that, or
Yes.
do I just? I did.
No, change your password right now.
But after that, I think I did.
That's called phishing. They
No,
are
after that,
phishing.
time, I did change my password because I had problem, like I was set up for my stuff.
So you might want to change your habits. You might want to pay attention from where you are, that you are accessing those public MiFi. If you're checking your email, if you are logging into your bank account, that could be a problem. So I am not saying that every public Wi-Fi is dangerous, but it's for sure not safe. So yes, I would change your passwords on everything.
Hold on.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm not sure who's sharing their screen, but someone is sharing their screen.
It's not us.
So, participant sharing. Okay, there we go. Someone asked, if compromised, do you contact your banks immediately?
Yes, absolutely. For many different reasons. So banks have what is called like an algorithm. They have it's sort of like a monitoring system of the type of transactions that you do. So for example, if all you do is walk into the bank and make physical withdrawals, but 3 months later, your ATM card was activated and ATM withdrawals start being made, they may shut down that card because that's not part of your algorithm. Something's throwing it off. So absolutely, I would not let a one-off not be a situation where you don't contact your lender. They should be aware, and that could be part of that algorithm if in actuality you're going to start using your ATM, or you're going to start using your card to do transfers, for example, money transfers. you're going to transfer to another country, they need to know. And if there has ever been an attempt, you need to contact your lender, please.
Yes, and I do know from personal experience that because of the algorithms, if banks see that there is a funky purchase, that they do contact you as well. So you should also be diligent, but the banks do have systems in place to check that as well.
Yes. So if your bank is locking you out of your account, just say thank you. Just say there's a reason for that. Just say thank you. I worked in fraud at the beginning of my career, and honestly, if your account is being frozen and you can't log in, there is a reason. You should be calling your lender. You should be stopping by at your local branch instead of sitting home panicking about what's happening. And also to your parents. I know that we have a young group, but parents that come in from other countries and they have to take out a loan to be here, that automatically starts building your credit because it's being reported to a credit agency. And when you come from another country, you don't understand how that works. You don't understand that US is really based on borrowing. Without credit, you really have nothing because you could lose your job, but if you have good credit, that can carry you on until you can find a job. So when you have these families that have to borrow to come in, to be able to come to the US, their credit is automatically being updated every month and being built until they can have a credit card or a car. So for those of us that have families from other countries, that's information to pass along. You should also check your credit. It's very important to request it. It is free. You should never pay to get your credit report.
Any other questions? Type them in the chat or speak up.
Huh? Yeah, she comes here.
Is there a question? Well, if there's no more questions, we do have the handouts given in your contact information, so students can reach out. Oh,
Sure.
someone said off-topic question, but is it possible to have a credit score above 850?
Yes.
It is, okay. Yes.
Yes, it is possible to go above 850 if it's so. Does your score go to 0? If so, I'm not sure what the second part of the question is, but yes, your FICO can go above 850, and I've a FICO. Maybe there are out low 400. I'm sure it's possible. Somehow it's possible, but it's even someone with a bankruptcy, someone with an extreme derogatory. There are certain items that they're probably paying on time that is upsetting. So some things may bring it down and others may bring it up, and you have that seesaw type of balance. I would say if you are concerned about your FICO, you should consult a credit reporting agency, and we have a local one that is a nonprofit, which means that you don't really have to pay to get someone to assist you with trying to figure out what that is. But yes, if you find that your credit it's fairly low, I would say anything under 620 is fairly low for a car loan or for a personal loan, especially a personal loan, because that a personal loan is solely based on your ability to pay back. There is I used to joke and say at work, it's just because you're pretty, you're getting this loan. There is no other reason. There is no collateral. So it's not that if you don't pay it back, they're taking your car. That's different. That is a car loan. A personal loan is based on your ability to pay and your income. So if you have a lower FICO, you will not be able to take the benefits of taking quote unquote free money or non-restricted money to pay your debt, to pay, a student loan that maybe the interest is high, or for whatever the reason, maybe you've been saving and you need a little help to supplement that. And it's not a car, maybe it's a motorcycle. And the rates for motorcycles are high because motorcycles are a huge liability. So you have to understand since young what credit does for you and how important kind of being jealous with your identity is. You want to keep it to yourself. If someone says, hey, can I borrow your password? No, you may not. Hey, can I put your name in my RG&E or phone bill? No, you may not. And if you find that happens, you need to call and you need to get that change, and you can, because it is in your name. It will hurt you and it will destroy you. And sometimes our parents will do it without thinking what that does. It is not our job to fix our parents' credit. It is their job to take care of their credit. Therefore, you guys should learn from now that nobody else is going to take care of it. It is not the bank's job to fix it. It is your job to protect it.
Very important. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are there any more questions? I don't think there are, but like I said, we have your contact information, and we also have volunteers Monday and Thursdays who can help students reach out to you if they need assistance doing that. So, thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Any questions, I'd love to answer. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Adios.